Welcome to Boxing on the Record with Randy and Chi-Town. Chi-Town, what's going on with you? What you got on your mind you want to put on the record? But before you do that, Chi-Town, let me remind the people to give us something that's free. And that is like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's free. You don't have to do nothing to give us that. So just give us that just for you tuning in to the content. So as I was saying, what you got on your mind that you want to get off your mind and put on the record, since I just got this off my mind and put that on the record?
Man, Randy, listen, I want to say blessings to you and everyone out there. It's been a very long, exhausting week as far as, work and career wise. And I've just been so drained, Randy. So much stuff has been happening in the boxing media, but I just been too drained to kind of just reach out, put anything on the record. And tonight, as I was about to go ahead and lie down, I really wanted to make sure that I hit up golfer Dave Jr. I needed to call him just to find out what was going to be happening on Colombo and just let him know how exhausted I am. And if you could just TiVo that for me or whatever, and then just send that to me, but then I can catch it on the back end. And as I was about to call him to do all that, I see this whole thing run across the screen about this whole Tank Davis assault, Tank Davis, Jake Paul issue happening. Jake Paul possibly trying to salvage that because it's supposed to be happening in a couple of weeks by looking at and offering fights to other people. Netflix is, got their whole flicks ruffled, if you will, trying to figure out how to save all of these things. So I was like, shoot, forget wrestling right now. Let me go ahead and get this on the record. So let me go ahead and jump in with you, Randy. I don't know if you heard about all of this, man, or not. I believe it was on Monday, this past Monday, Tank was in a strip club down in Miami, and I'm 100% emphasizing that, where he allegedly grabbed one of the workers who is 100% been identified as one of his ex-girlfriends, grabbed her, pulled her, drug her through the whole thing, took her outside, and then did some kind of assault on her. I'm not going to get into the specifics. He hit her 4, 5, 6 times. I don't know. But what I do know is this is the allegations. And why do we know about these allegations? Because I believe it was on Wednesday, there was a civil lawsuit that she filed against Tank Davis. And I think that's what alerted a lot of people to what's going on with this particular situation, because she went to her attorney to file a civil lawsuit. And I'm really taking my time with that and emphasizing that, because there are God knows how many Tank fans out there that will only point to the civil lawsuit. She obviously is only after money. She's after money. If she was real, if this really happened, why didn't she go to the police? Why didn't she file a report with the police? Look out. Why did they ask that question, Randy? Why? Because she actually did file a criminal report with the police the day after. I don't know what time this whole is to happen because the police have not released the entire information. But literally, so that happened on 27th. We don't know what time. That's why it's important. Hypothetically, let's say that happened at 11 o'clock at night on Monday. That would still be the 27th. She filed a report with the police on 28th. That report could have been filed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Could have been filed at 3. It could have actually been shortly after it happened, but it appears on a police report as it was done like the next day. But still, doesn't even matter. She did file a criminal police report against this issue, or against Tank on this issue, the very next day. Let's just say it like that. And then the day after that is when she went and did the civil stuff. And so I wanted to just start there first, Randy, because this is serious, man. And this is what we tend as boxers to just look at this as a one-time issue. And I'm not saying all of us, but I'm saying as boxers, because boxing fans tend to have a short-term memory. What have you done for me lately is what they always say, and what's happening now. But that usually applies to a lot of these nefarious incidences that happens to people's favorite fighter, and they don't necessarily remember certain track records that occur with their favorite fighter, but they definitely remember every track record that occurs with individuals who are not their favorite fighter or who are going after their favorite fighter. And with us being a neutral boxing channel, us loving the sport more than we love any individual fighter, it is time. It is literally time for us to draw the line amongst everybody. As you know, and as our fans know, we're not into the whole internet foolishness. We don't call people out. We don't do this back and forth bickering and fighting. We speak things as they are. We also are not into the big hype trains that go around. All of a sudden, this is some big news, and so everybody's talking about it, so you can kind of get a lot of views and get money on your from those views and have more people joining your channel. We don't do that either, because what happens is you start losing your integrity. And we've seen this with so many channels. And now you have everything being controlled by those that just want to hear this hype train. And you could have started out as a legitimate channel, but then because all the money started coming in, or because of all the views, you started shifting into speaking about whomever it is on a regular basis, and your credibility is gone, and that's not us. It is important for us to maintain our credibility, which is why we stay away from a lot of the popular conversations that are happening at a particular time. We'll speak on it, and then we'll keep it moving. We're not building a channel like that. Our channel is for true boxing fans who love the sport over any fighter. But we have to talk about this foolishness because Tank has a record of beating women. Tank has a record, a literal record, of hitting people with a car, injuring people, and still fleeing away, leaving the scene. That's on his record. That's what he literally got a criminal record for doing exactly that. We saw on TV in freaking the same town in Miami, Tank grabbed one of his girlfriends by the throat while he was watching a basketball game and pull her out by her throat. Somehow Tank fans, or whatever they are, hypers or whoever's paying these people, could be bots paying people to try to keep his name positive because they want to build this pay-per-view star, whatever it is, ignore all of that and try to give a pass for that. And they try to take it scenario by scenario, as if this scenario is different than other. No, we have a pattern of you doing this. It's not about the women trying to get money from you. Why are you always tied with beating a woman? How come you can't be tied with, robbing, different men on the corner? You can't be tied to being drunk out there, public nuisance. You can't be tied with stealing cars. You always are tied with some kind of assault with a woman. Let that be a person that Tank fans don't know, and they would jump all the way up on that person without any evidence, without any proof. They would not wait for what happens at the end. They will not give that person a pass. They will not say the woman is just trying to get money from him. No, they will say, this is what this person did, and this is why this person did this. And see, that's why they never going to be all of these different things. And I'm going to bring in a very quick, irrelevant example, but I'm going to tie it right back. As you know, we are huge Bud fans. What people aren't used to is us criticizing the fighters that we actually do like. But many Bud fanboys, when it came to fighting for Bud to fight Errol, they were really dogging Errol simply because of Errol's life outside of the ring. Errol's at this club. Errol's here doing this, and Errol couldn't get a pass on anything. We grew up, loving boxing. We knew boxers when they're not in camp. This is what they do, period. It means nothing. It matters what you do in the ring. That's it. And so it was very rare that we ever saw something going on like that. But that's, couldn't get a break. Oh, Bud, he stays in the gym. He stays in the gym all the time. So why am I bringing that up? Well, look at this correlation. We've seen Tank go up and down and wait when he's not in camp. We have literally seen Tank in different clubs all of the time, but he does not get that level of criticism. That easy guy. Everybody's just like, oh, but Tank is still this thing, and he's this person that is just this amazing guy, and we got all these things. But let it be Devin Haney that did that. Let it be somebody else that had called out Tank. In the past, trying to come on, no, this person and Devin Haney lives a clean lifestyle. It didn't matter what he did. Oh well, Tank's from the trenches and he does this. So, I mean, it means zero. Anybody that was going to go against Tank, Tank gets a pass for everything, and it's just time to stop the foolishness. And this is just not for Tank. This is for the fanboy isms. Period. I love Boots. I can't stand anybody that's going to be a fanboy. That's going to Boots needs to be criticized like everyone else. We like Wilder. Wilder needs to be criticized like everybody else. Usyk needs to be criticized like everybody else. That's how boxing is. And we just have to do all those things. I'm going to pause right here, Randy, and let you go ahead and jump in because I know you got a lot to add, baby. Give it to me.
Yeah, I just think Shaitan, you had a lot there going on, and it's almost too much for me to try to cover behind you because you done just about covered everything. But I'm gonna stick my little 2 cents in and maybe get out the way after this. I think sometimes the fanboys develop in a couple of ways. I think one, they develop in a way that they see these people because they got millions of dollars. They begin to idolize them in some type of way, um, almost making them putting them on a pedestal. And for me, I've been around professional athletes growing up most of my life, most of my young life, because like I told you, I had a cousin, and a lot of them might know him, Tim Raines, Rock played for the Expos. His mama and my grandma, sisters. So I grew up around them. So when they would come to town, um, we would have our family reunion when they played the Braves. And a lot of the guys that didn't have nowhere to go, didn't have no family in the city, they would come to our family reunion. So I grew up around them. And of course, I got countless friends that went to play professional football. Jesse Small, Danny Copeland, Myron Guyton, um, Ray Drew, Charlie Ward, which he played basketball. But so I don't see these people as beyond human. I see them for who they are. And I think a lot of the content creators can't get past that. They're amazed and amused that they getting attention from these people, or they feel like they're special because they get an interview from these people, or able to go to the gyms or whatever the case may be. But I'm not impressed by that. I still see them as human and who they are. Um, but I think people, when they show you who they are, you should believe it. Tank is doing everything he can to show us who he is, but these people are giving him passes and making excuses and doing all type of stuff to defend him. But then at the end of the day, when the allegations becomes true, then they looking crazy because they got egg on their face, and it is what it is. I stand behind what I say regardless, because I don't know Tank. Tank don't know me. Not only that, I stand on what I stand on, whether is whoever it is. That's just like a lot of people were defending R. Kelly. Look how that turned out. A lot of people were defending Diddy. Look how that turned out. These people are who they show you they are. They're not people subhuman. Look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson never had a problem with allegations about him messing with another man, or him doing whatever. His issues were tied to the children. That's what he liked to do. If he didn't have money, that's what he would be doing. That's just who he is, a pedophile, allegedly. Um, so I don't get down with that, giving these guys passes and compromising my integrity for these people. um I I look at the fact that and I said this a while back, some years ago, when he fought Rolly, and he pushed him off the stage. And everybody thought that was funny, oh, look at Tank, then he's climbing making for the show. I was one said it, and I forgot what platform we was on, but I was one of the ones said it that I don't think that's funny. I don't think that's funny at all. It's cute now, but then when he messed the bag up, now it's a problem because he got so many other people he depending on. He can't do childish things now because he in a whole new area in life. Look at all the people he that depend on him for a check. Not that they're using him, but you're a business now. That's just like you having a business and these people depending on you for a check and you somewhere off at the casino or wherever jacking the money off. Then when it's payday and they need to feed their family, they can't get paid because you done jack the money off in whatever way. Whether it was tricking, gambling, uh, putting it in a wild dog mouth and watch them run off, whatever the case may be. You can't do that anymore because you got too many people and too many families depending on you. Um, I think a lot of people got an issue with the lady that's asking for 50,000. You have to look at that. You have to look at that in a number of different ways. One way I look at that is money ain't the same to everybody. Everybody's not willing to wait on money. I know a friend of mine got hit by a semi truck with with uh, with several other guys in the vehicle with him. He waited a year and a half, almost 2 years. He got 1.4 million or something like that. It was one guy that was in the truck with him, a car with him. He only got 5,000 because he wanted it right away. And then one guy kind of tried to wait, but he only got 50,000. So she may be looking at it from the standpoint, and the lawyer might have told her, look here, we can go ahead and settle this for 50,000. You can get a check cut next week. I don't know if it's that early, but you can get a check cut next week. Or we can drag this out and you might get a million, you might get such and such, you might get she might have went for the sure quick money. And and people talk about, well, this is that she want money. It's always about the money. It's always about the money. If you touch a girl on her backside and she know you broke, she probably just gonna slap the taste out your mouth. But if you touch that same girl on her backside and you got money and she know you got money, now you got a charge. And 9 times out of 10, it's gonna cost you because it's about the money. Because it's always about the money. So I don't think it's strange for her to ask for 50,000 because she want the money and she want it now. 50,000 to her might be a lot of money. And then she might regret it down the line that she only settled for 50,000. But that's how I see it. Also, and I'm gonna say these couple of points and I'm gonna get up out of here. A lot of people say rushing to say Tank guilty. When you known for something, it don't take much to get behind that, whether you be guilty or not. If you're not guilty, then you need to remove yourself from the environment of the people that cause you to look guilty. I can remember when my kids were riding the bus and they rode the bus and our cousin drove the bus. She come to me, she say, Randy, uh, your son was acting up on the bus. Ain't no problem. I can handle that. When I got him in the house, I told him to go in the house. When I got him in the house, I whooped his tail. That was old school. But I whooped his tail. And he said, well, Dad, I didn't do that. I said, if you didn't do that, he said the boy in the seat that with him did it. I said, if you didn't do that, the next time you get on the bus and you see that kid that got you this whipping, you'll stay away from it. Because if not, this coming up again. And then if you continue to be with him, you're gonna be known to do whatever it is that you got accused of. And eventually what'll happen is if he robbed the store, they coming to get you whether you was with him or not. Now you got to prove that you didn't do it. So why do he keep putting himself in these situations if that ain't who he is? He might just like beating women. He might get a thrill out of that. I know some guys I grew up with, they love to beat women. They love it. And I've had one tell me, oh, if you beat her and you not in public, she gonna be too ashamed to tell somebody. So I'm not quick to come to somebody rescue like that because I know the difference about being a grown man, uh 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 who to follow and who not to follow. Because we have to remember we're dealing with a bunch of children and young people on this internet. Anybody can make content, young, old, whatever. But the mindset of who making the content is shaped by the people that's following them. Once they get monetized and start getting a following, and these people paying them, they begin to mold themselves into the people that they're leading because that's what the people that they're leading like. And that's what they're going to give them what they like to get their money out their pocket. Send a super chat. Do this, do that. You ain't got to send me nothing. I got a job. You feel what I'm saying? They ain't got to send you nothing. You got a job. Even though we ain't
Amen.
at that point yet.
Amen.
You feel
Amen.
what I'm saying? So you can't buy my opinion.
Amen.
Now you can't buy my opinion. I still stand on my opinion. You know the group we in.
Amen. I do.
I sometimes we stand alone, until we get the right evidence, and then we ain't got no choice but to, give in. But
True.
sometimes we stand alone on our thought, and we believe that. And the rest of the group, just because the rest of the group feel a certain way, that don't mean we're gonna change because they feel that way. You know
Amen.
what I mean? I'm gonna say this. Jake Paul kicking him off the card. If that to be true, I can understand it, and I relate to that. The reason why I say I relate to that is because when you got a person that can't get right or just a problem, you hit them in the pocket.
Yeah.
You hit them in the pocket. Same thing with what I said. When you touch the girl and you got money, you'll quit running around here touching them if it costs you $100,000 just to fill on the girl backside. You'll quit running around here slapping girls if it costs you 40 million.
Mm.
You'll stop it. You will stop being a troublemaker or late at work if they lay you off for a few days, and that's usually what they do. I tell you what, we're gonna lay you off a few days because they understand that they lay you off. Most of the people on jobs are living check to check or close to check to check.
True.
So when they lay you off for them 2 or 3 days, it affects your bills, and it makes you think twice about trying them in the way you tried them, in the manner that you tried them. Now, if laying you off don't affect your wallet, then they just fire y'all together eventually because they say this cat here is not getting it, and we're not getting through to him by laying him off. So let's just go ahead and get rid of him because he ain't nothing but trouble. He ain't nothing but trouble. But to sum it up, credibility. Credibility is the biggest thing you got
Amen.
when it comes to being a man.
Amen.
Your credibility. That's what this world is built on. Credit. If your credit ain't no good, they gonna treat you like your credit ain't no good. If your credit ain't no good, when you go to buy something and they look at your credit and they be like, your credit ain't no good. I can't trust you with this because you known to skip out. I can't trust you with this because you known to get stuff and not tend to want to pay for it or see the contract all the way through. I can't trust you. Same thing with this here. This is your credibility. I can't trust you, Tank, that you didn't do what she's accusing you of because
Amen.
you known to do this. You known to do this. Just because they dropped the charges or they wasn't, they didn't continue on or they said it didn't happen. It's about the money. You might have paid them off. Somebody might have paid them off.
Right.
It caused them not to speak. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look how many mobsters been on trial.
Yes.
Huh?
P. Diddy in the hotel
Look how many,
situation, with the
exactly.
thing.
But guess what though? And like you said with P. Diddy, but guess what? Once you pay them off and people find out that you were paid, you got to keep paying.
Yep.
You got to keep paying. So the best thing for you to do is remove yourself from these type of situations. You got to remove yourself. Now the conversation on YouTube then is everybody trying to get Tank money. Everybody accusing him of this and that. They're accusing because they know he'll pay. But if you remove yourself from the situation and quit getting caught up in this, you don't have to worry about being in this type of situation. What say you?
Randy, thank you so much. And I got to tell you, man, and everybody, unfortunately, this is going a little bit longer than we normally do. And I don't want this to us to have to make a part two of everything like that. So I'm going to just cut right in so we can just finalize. But I'm just going to really be kind of just going hard now. I'm going to be throwing some quick daggers. And I just asked Golfer Dave Jr. to be patient with me. I will be in touch with you. But it's going to probably be, in a couple of days now after you see this. Let me just be straight, man. Well, first of all, before I get straight, I just need to run back real quick and state that this is something that a lot of people don't know about us and our channel. We are actually connected. We literally are connected to a lot of people, a lot of famous people, especially people in the sport. I'm glad that you brought up your cousin. And the connections you have with the different individuals. Many don't know that Joe Lipsy Jr. is my cousin, who's also a part of this channel as well. They'll just have to look him up. But his only loss was to Bernard Hopkins. Just do a YouTube thing, you'll see it. He had a medical issue that occurred in the middle of the fight. He hadn't been able to continue after that for the rest of his career, so that's his only loss. I grew up around professional fighters. I know many professional fighters. And something I wanted to bring out is from amateurs to pro, every single last boxer knows that once you get registered, whether it's through USA Boxing as an amateur or a pro, you 100% from that point forward you literally cannot put your hands on anyone outside on the street. It is illegal for us to do this. We cannot start fights. We can't do anything. We can only use our hands in self-defense. Tank 1000% knows this. But what we have been seeing and what we hear from him is that he's been the initiator, but not with no cats that rolled up on him to try to rob him like people did with Zab Judah or even with Amir Khan. We've seen Tank be aggressive against women. That all raises the issue as boxer. He's not innocent. Stop treating this dude like he's like a 3-year-old kid. He's not no baby. He knows exactly what he's supposed to do, and he knows what he can't do. Dude's got issues. People need to call that out. I specifically never even talked about her lawsuit because it's irrelevant. It means nothing. It's a distraction that fanboys attempt to get people caught up into, so you never argue the real issue. And what is the real issue is that Tank is false. He has no business out here constantly doing this as a professional, period. He's not me or you. He's not a cat walking the street. And you got somebody doing this. And stop giving him all these excuses that, she was trying to set this up and this. We see this dude doing this. We see him being some kind of aggressor, but he will never be that aggressor against his contemporaries in their prime. He always got some kind of bogus excuse that all these fanboys come at him with. So forget all of that. I liked Liked Tank, but he's wasted talent. This cat is in his 30s, always been having an excuse to not fight other people when he was in his prime and they was in their prime, and not to even fight, stay and move people up and put weight clauses on this person, not do this and let everybody talk about this, calling up one person emo champion, then he ends up being an emo champion, all this stuff. It's enough, man. This dude's too old for all of this stuff. It is unacceptable. His entire behavior is unacceptable. I do not need to see what happens with any type of lawsuit. Your pattern has been the same, and you have acknowledged that this was your pattern. That's a big thing. This is what everyone's leaving out. And so you have acknowledged that this is what you've done. And this is what you do. And then you flip some kind of religion and stuff, but you still continue doing this stuff. Dude, you a trick. You is false. I'm calling shots at all of his fanboys. All of y'all who defend this garbage are false. I'm saying it now because I'm not going to say this again. People are going to come at us. I'm never going to respond. I'm never going to say it to them. I'm calling out all of their integrity. Y'all who still want to kind of hesitate and stutter, y'all doing it for the money. You're doing it because he's your family or whatever, and you have no integrity to correct members in your family, if you will. You know, truth is truth. You would never allow this to happen to your mama, your sister, or your daughter. But you let this bogus trash person, you know, I keep it clean, do this stuff. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of all this stuff. Get out of boxing. I need Jake Paul to replace him, not just because of this, but Netflix, the brand. This is not good for their brand. He's been getting too many passes getting away, so he needs to go. You need to go. I have no qualms about it. And if we want to kind of go street and street, you from Beamer, I'm from Chicago, and then let that be what it is, and we'll go from there. So that's why I got on this, Randy. Go ahead and speak on it.
I'm done, man. We done drug them out for. We can drag them out because we try not to hold our people too long. Um, with that being said, we're out of here like last year.
Peace.